Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine waking up on exam day, filled with that unique mix of nervous energy and readiness, only to discover the entire digital system you depend on has crashed, just completely brought to its knees by a relentless cyber attack. That wasn't a nightmare for thousands of students in Greece. It was their reality. But here's where it gets really interesting. Uncovering exactly what happened and even figuring out who might be behind such an attack often boils down to something called open source intelligence. OSINT. We've gathered an incredible stack of sources you've provided us with, everything from a super granular analysis of that very Greek DDoS attack, the insights from Forbes and Kaspersky on the chilling evolution of AI-fueled threats, and even, practical actionable guides on fortifying your own digital life. It's a real treasure trove of information. And our mission today is to, transform that information overload into clear, actionable understanding for you.
Yeah, and what's truly fascinating here, and I think often misunderstood, is how OSINT, which at its core is simply the gathering and, let's say, astute analysis of publicly available information, has become absolutely indispensable. It's a cornerstone of both cybersecurity defense and offense.
Right.
It's a profoundly powerful tool. Think of it like a digital magnifying glass and a chisel rolled into one. But like any powerful tool, its impact depends entirely on the hands that wield it. It can illuminate truth or, craft deception.
So our mission today is to dive deep into this multifaceted world. We're going to explore some truly compelling real-world examples of OSINT in action, for good and for ill. We'll peel back the layers of what your digital footprint truly entails because it's far beyond just your social media posts. And most importantly, we're going to arm you with concrete, actionable steps, ways to safeguard your online presence against these increasingly sophisticated and, frankly, AI-driven threats. Think of it as your essential guide to navigating the digital shadow you inevitably cast.
And this brings us to a really critical question I think that we all need to consider. In an age where information just cascades around us relentlessly, where AI can process and connect, disparate data points at speeds we can barely even comprehend, how well do we genuinely understand the vast amounts of information we're willingly or maybe entirely unwittingly putting out there, and the myriad ways it can be used against us? The answer might be more unsettling than you think.
Let's start by demystifying OSINT a bit. When we use that term OSINT, it might conjure images of, shadowy spy agencies or something, but it's far more ubiquitous, right? It permeates everything from journalism to corporate strategy. What are we really talking about here?
You're absolutely right. While it sounds like something from a thriller, OSINT is, much more grounded in everyday reality. It's the structured practice of collecting and analyzing information that is legally and ethically sourced from publicly available channels, all to support intelligence and security operations. The practical guide to OSINT makes it really clear. This isn't about classified data or illegal hacking.
Okay.
It's about taking the vast, often unstructured sea of public data and transforming it into actionable intelligence. It's the art of connecting dots that are freely visible to everyone, but only few know how to effectively connect them.
And publicly available goes way beyond just reading the daily news, right? Because
Yeah.
I think that's where many people's understanding might initially stop. They might not realize the sheer breadth of these sources.
Precisely. The scope is just expansive.
Yeah.
The Cobalt source points out it includes everything from publicly accessible websites and social media platforms, think LinkedIn, to government databases, public records, online forums, and, traditional news and media reports.
Right.
And the practical guide to OSINT further expands this. It adds corporate filings like company registrations or annual reports and even geospatial imagery. Satellite maps, basically.
Geospatial imagery.
Yeah. Imagine the amount of information you can unearth with just a persistent search and an understanding of where to look, whether it's through a simple Google query or, specialized tools that scrape social media for patterns. It's about leveraging the digital breadcrumbs we all leave behind.
Okay. While we're going to dive into the more concerning aspects, and there are definitely some of those, it's crucial to first acknowledge that OSINT is also a powerful force for good. Where do we see its positive impact in the real world? Because without that context, it's easy to just paint it purely as a tool for, nefarious purposes.
Absolutely, and that's a key point. Its ethical applications are profound and widespread. The practical guide to OSINT outlines numerous positive uses. It really shows its versatility and its ability to uncover critical truths. Take investigative journalism, for example. OSINT has been absolutely instrumental in some of the biggest exposés of our time.
Like,
Well, the Panama Papers investigation. That stands out as a prime illustration. Journalists meticulously leveraged a combination of leaked financial records and critically publicly available corporate registration data. They drew from sources like Open Corporates and the Offshore Leaks database to uncover these vast global networks of tax evasion and money laundering.
Right, that wasn't hacking, that was research.
Exactly. This wasn't about secret agents. It was about diligent open source research. Then there's Bellingcat, an independent collective that has become a global benchmark, really. They've famously used OSINT, employing everything from commercial satellite imagery and publicly accessible flight records to social media posts and phone metadata to meticulously verify war crimes and debunk sophisticated disinformation campaigns.
Wow.
Their work on the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17 is, well, legendary. And the Reddit thread even shares how they use seemingly innocuous details like factory chimneys and shadow angles in the background of images to pinpoint locations and track child sexual abuse material videos.
Just from shadows and chimneys, that's incredible.
It's an incredibly powerful testament to how seemingly small public details can expose huge truths.
That's a truly impactful use case, revealing the hidden through just relentless analysis of what's visible. So it's about piecing together a complex puzzle from fragments that are technically out there for anyone to see, but require that expertise to connect.
Exactly. And in law enforcement, OSINT is, well, indispensable. It helps agencies track criminal activity, identify suspects, map out intricate criminal networks, and even locate individuals involved in major civil unrest. The Reddit thread, for instance, highlights how OSINT was effectively used to track down looters during events like the London riots.
How did they do that?
By analyzing social media posts and CCTV footage that was publicly shared or accessible, the FBI also actively leverages OSINT to disrupt human trafficking rings, often by analyzing publicly posted classified ads, online communications, financial transaction trails. It allows them to proactively intercept and dismantle these operations by understanding the digital landscape these criminals operate within.
So it's not just about cyber threats then. It's a foundational skill for understanding our complex world. It bridges the digital and physical in, traditional crime fighting.
Hmm.
And what about the business world? How are companies leveraging OSINT for, say, competitive advantage?
Right. In business intelligence and market analysis, companies are definitely harnessing OSINT to gain a significant competitive edge. They actively monitor industry trends by tracking news, social media, patent filings. They assess consumer sentiment by analyzing discussions on platforms like Twitter or Reddit, identifying emerging needs or, public perception of their brands.
Okay, that makes sense.
The practical guide to OSINT even notes how they use alternative data sources, like analyzing satellite imagery of retail parking lots to predict competitor earnings before official reports are even published.
Seriously.
Parking lots? Yeah. More cars might mean more shoppers, potentially higher sales. It's clever. This allows for incredibly proactive strategic planning, informs investment decisions, and helps companies spot market opportunities or risks well in advance. So its application truly spans from uncovering global corruption to predicting the success of a new product launch.
But here's where it gets really interesting, or perhaps far more concerning. The very same information available for good, this powerful investigative magnifying glass, can be weaponized. It's like a meticulously crafted tool that can build a house or, in the wrong hands, dismantle your privacy brick by brick.
Precisely. And the practical guide to OSINT issues a pretty stark warning here. Malicious actors are increasingly exploiting open data for highly nefarious purposes. This includes everything from orchestrating sophisticated disinformation campaigns to executing large-scale identity theft and facilitating intricate fraud schemes.
And AI makes this worse.
Yeah, Forbes adds a critical layer to this, emphasizing that the rapid advancements in AI have significantly amplified these threats. They make them both more pervasive and, frankly, terrifyingly sophisticated. AI can sift through more public data in seconds than a human could in a lifetime, finding patterns and connections we might never see.
So those seemingly innocent vacation photos, or even just talking about a new gadget or an upcoming event on social media, that's not just innocent sharing anymore, is it? It becomes potential intelligence for someone else.
Not at all. It shifts from innocent sharing to potentially revealing vulnerabilities. As protecting yourself, Privacy OSINT and the dark web explains, revealing details like an upcoming vacation on social media or even that exciting new purchase you just made can inadvertently make you a direct target for burglars or thieves.
Right. They know when you're not home.
Exactly. By openly sharing seemingly mundane personal details, your full name, date of birth, address, you dramatically simplify the process for identity thieves to piece together your identity for fraudulent purposes. Every piece of public information, no matter how small, becomes a potential building block for a malicious actor.
And I've heard about how AI is making phishing attacks incredibly convincing. How does OSINT play into that, particularly with this hyper-personalization we're seeing?
Forbes and Bank Info Security both stress this point. AI-fueled threats are elevating phishing and scams to a completely unprecedented level of sophistication. We're moving far beyond the era of, generic emails with bad grammar.
Yeah, those are easier to spot.
Right. Attackers are now able to harvest vast amounts of social media and corporate data using specialized AI-powered OSINT tools. This harvested data then allows them to craft highly convincing, highly tailored phishing attempts. These aren't just guesses. They're designed to specifically resonate with you. They use details about your work, your colleagues, your interests, even your recent activities found online. This level of personalization dramatically increases the effectiveness of social engineering. It makes it incredibly difficult for even tech-savvy individuals to spot these targeted scams because they feel so authentic and familiar.
So the more information you or maybe your organization puts online, the more fuel you're providing for these AI-powered attacks to become, well, almost indistinguishable from legitimate communications. It's like an attacker gets a bespoke blueprint for your weak points.
Absolutely. And the Cobalt source highlights how critical OSINT oversights have unfortunately led to major security breaches within organizations. Attackers proactively use OSINT during their reconnaissance phase, that's the planning stage, to identify potential threats and vulnerabilities.
What are they looking for?
This could involve scouring public employee directories for names and job titles, looking for mentions of specific technology stacks on company blogs or social media, or even finding casual social media posts by staff that inadvertently reveal internal processes or systems, like a photo with a whiteboard in the background.
Oh, right, accidental disclosures.
Exactly. This aggregated intelligence then acts as a sophisticated roadmap, guiding their attacks and making it exponentially easier to pinpoint the weakest links in a company's defenses. It truly underscores that every piece of information you put online, no matter how small or seemingly insignificant, could potentially be a building block for an attacker to construct a detailed profile of you, your habits, or even your workplace's security posture.
Okay, let's zoom back in on that exam day disaster in Greece, the incident we opened with. It sounds like it created absolute chaos for thousands of students. What exactly happened there, and how did the events unfold?
Right, so the morning of Monday, May 29th, 2023. High school students across Greece arrived at their schools ready for their national exams, big day. But instead of tackling exam questions, they faced widespread technical difficulties in accessing the required exam subjects online. Total standstill.
Nightmare scenario for students.
Absolutely. Later that day, the Ministry of Education confirmed the grim reality. These difficulties were, in fact, a distributed denial of service attack, a DDoS attack. This specific attack targeted GRNet, Greece's national infrastructures for research and technology, which hosts critical educational services. Alarmingly, the situation repeated itself the very next day, Tuesday, May 30th, another crucial exam day. A second DDoS attack hit the Institute of Educational Policy website, specifically trapeza.iep.edu.gr. The Greek government itself later characterized this as the largest DDoS cyber attack ever conducted on their public infrastructure.
The largest ever. Wow. So this is a direct, impactful strike against critical public infrastructure, not just some minor glitch, directly impacting thousands of students' futures. Was there any immediate protection in place, or were they just completely exposed on that first day?
Well, what's particularly revealing here, thanks to OSINT, is the change in their defense posture. It tells a story. On that initial Monday, May 29th, the website trapeza.iep.edu.gr had no discernible external protection measures. Public records indicated it was pointing directly to an IP address belonging to a net block of GRNet.
Making it an easy target.
A vulnerable direct target, yes. However, by Tuesday, May 30th, OSINT revealed a rapid shift. The website was now routing traffic through Akamai.
Akamai.
Yeah.
The big CDN and security provider.
Exactly. A well-known content delivery network and DDoS protection service. This indicated they had quickly moved to establish some level of DDoS protection. But it's an important distinction that this configuration primarily protects the application or website itself, not necessarily the entire underlying network infrastructure.
Right, so other parts of GRNet could still be vulnerable.
Potentially, yes.
But how did the original OSINT analysis, I think you mentioned, it was by Michaelis, how did that confirm these were indeed malicious attacks and not just convenient technical difficulties, as maybe some officials initially claimed? It's easy for rumors or political narratives to cloud the truth in these situations.
Yeah, and this is a fantastic illustration of OSINT's power for independent corroboration, absolutely crucial for cutting through speculation and official narratives. Michaelis, the author of the OSINT analysis, correlated several distinct pieces of publicly available information. It's like detective work.
Okay, like what?
Firstly, he reviewed Garnet's MRTG data. These are publicly available traffic graphs for their backbone nodes, Lord CS1 and Lord TS2. Michaelis observed unusual packet per second PPES spikes on both May 29th and 30th.
Packet per second spikes.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
These specific types of spikes are highly indicative of a DDoS protocol attack. It's a sophisticated method targeting Layer 3 and Layer 4 communications, basically overwhelming the core plumbing of the Internet's routing and transport mechanisms. This isn't just a website being slow, it's the fundamental network infrastructure being barraged.
Got it. Much deeper than just a website overload.
Exactly. Secondly, he consulted DDoS intelligence providers. Now, while Cloudflare, for instance, didn't provide direct confirmation specific to GRNet, NetScout's Horizon, another major intelligence provider, did document widespread attacks covering Greece for both days. And the timings correlated very closely with GRNet's abnormal activity spikes.
Ah, so external confirmation.
Crucial external corroborative evidence, yes. Finally, he looked at NetBlocks. They're a respected organization tracking network connectivity outages globally. NetBlocks tweeted about network connectivity disruptions affecting AS35506, that's Information Society SA, a Greek state company providing ICT services. They specifically noted outages impacting graduation exams. Since ipd.edu.gr relies on AS35506 infrastructure, this suggested the attack might have been wider, more generalized than just GRNet's direct infrastructure.
Okay, so hitting a broader range of government services.
Potentially, yeah, highlighting a broader impact.
So combining these disparate data points from various open sources painted a remarkably clear and, well, undeniable picture of a coordinated attack. What does this all mean for attribution, then? Was it the pro-Russian KillNet group? I remember the National Intelligence Service initially pointed fingers there.
Right, if we connect this to the bigger picture of geopolitical cyber warfare. While NIS initially did affiliate evidence with KillNet, the author's OSINT analysis strongly suggests otherwise. Several factors make KillNet's involvement appear highly unlikely. Their known leader, Killmilk, reportedly announced the dissolution of the main KillNet team days before the first attack, specifically on May 24th.
Oh, interesting timing.
Very. Furthermore, the KillNet group itself posted on Telegram, expressing surprise and even amusement at the attribution, with a message essentially asking what's going on with them.
Ah.
KillNet typically operates with a very public, almost theatrical flair. They usually announce their targets well in advance and then publicly celebrate their successes with shared evidence, screenshots, bold statements.
Right, they're quite loud about it, usually.
Very loud. None of this typical behavior was observed in the Greek incidents. So based on the readily available open source evidence, it's considered highly unlikely they were responsible. It points to a potentially different unknown actor.
This case really highlights how critical public infrastructure is a prime target for threat actors, especially, given regional geopolitical developments like the ongoing RU-UA war, which often spills over into the cyber domain. The lessons learned here should absolutely focus on robust prevention and mitigation strategies and, wow, the power of OSINT to provide rapid, independent verification. Okay, let's move to another serious threat, scattered spider. Sounds like something right out of a spy novel, a shadowy group weaving complex webs. Tell us about them.
Yeah, the name is evocative, isn't it? Scattered Spider, also known by a whole host of aliases like Cerocatus or Octotempest, they're a highly active and incredibly sophisticated attack group, operational since at least 2022. They are primarily financially motivated, driven by profit, but what makes them particularly insidious, maybe unique, is their composition.
What's that?
They are believed to consist primarily of native English speakers. This gives them a profound linguistic and cultural advantage when conducting social engineering attacks, particularly against Western targets.
Ah, so no awkward phrasing or cultural mistakes that might give them away.
Exactly. They don't have to worry about translation nuances or cultural faux pas. They can craft messages and conversations that feel incredibly authentic and trustworthy to their targets.
So they're not just highly skilled technical hackers. They're masters of deception and psychological manipulation,
Yeah.
deeply exploiting the human element. It's less about breaking through firewalls and more about tricking the people behind them.
Precisely. They specialize heavily in social engineering, particularly through sophisticated phishing and smishing, that's SMS phishing campaigns, to gain their initial access. They are experts at compromising user credentials and, critically, intercepting multi-factor authentication, MFA, codes.
Even MFA.
How? Often employing complex SIM swapping attacks to bypass even these supposedly strong protections. Once they gain that initial foothold, they systematically escalate privileges, conduct extensive reconnaissance within the victim's network to understand its layout and critical assets, and then deploy ransomware. Often variants of ALPHV, also known as Black Cat, one of the most aggressive ransomware strains out there.
And they've hit some truly massive names, right? Major corporations that you'd think would have multi-million-dollar security budgets and robust defenses. This isn't just targeting small businesses.
They have indeed. Scattered Spider has been explicitly linked to high-profile attacks on major companies such as Caesars Entertainment and MGM Resorts International, shaking the foundations of the hospitality and entertainment industries.
The MGM attack was huge news.
It was. And the MGM Resorts incident in September 2023 was particularly illuminating regarding their OSINT prowess. It involved an extensive use of publicly available information to impersonate internal IT support staff. They would contact employees directly via phone calls and SMS, leveraging public information about the company's structure, employee names, even common internal jargon gleaned from places like LinkedIn to gain trust and ultimately bypass security protocols.
So they sound like they work there.
Exactly. This isn't random dialing. It's highly targeted, leveraging publicly visible patterns to craft deeply believable pretexts.
Wow. So what does this all mean for you, the listener? How does OSINT play a role in making their attacks, even against individuals, so much more convincing and harder to detect? It feels like the line between legitimate and malicious communication is really blurring.
Yeah, an offensive AI drives more convincing cyber attacks from bank info security, clarifies this crucial point with frankly chilling detail. OSINT provides the critical data piece that supercharges these sophisticated social engineering attacks. Attackers aren't just sending out generic spam anymore. They spend months quietly observing their targets, meticulously gathering information from public sources, LinkedIn, company websites, social media news articles, even online forums. They construct incredibly detailed profiles.
Months of just watching.
Sometimes, yes. This allows them to strike at precisely opportune moments. For instance, when an employee is known to be on vacation from a social media post, or during periods of peak workload when people are more stressed, distracted, and therefore more susceptible to falling for a convincing ruse.
Makes sense? You're less likely to scrutinize things when you're busy or stressed.
Precisely. This detailed OSINT-derived information enables surgical, precise targeting, dramatically increasing success rates. The article even notes that ethical pen testers, the good guys simulating attacks to test defenses, are now advised to dedicate about 50% of their efforts just to OSINT before even attempting a technical breach, solely to understand all potential attack vectors and identify human vulnerabilities.
50%. Just on reconnaissance. That's huge. It really highlights how profoundly the information we collectively put out there can be weaponized. Even seemingly innocuous details about your work or colleagues, visible in a casual photo or a seemingly harmless post, could be harvested by these AI-powered OSINT tools to stage a highly convincing, devastating attack against your workplace or even against you personally. It's almost like everything you publish online is a potential piece of an attacker's puzzle.
It absolutely can be, and the Cobalt source further highlights two other significant breaches, both driven by glaring OSINT oversights. These show that sometimes the hack isn't complex at all, but simply finding what's already exposed.
Like what?
Let's look at the infamous Ashley Madison breach in 2015. Remember that? The dating website explicitly catering to individuals seeking extramarital affairs.
Oh yeah, that was massive.
Catastrophic. It suffered a data breach that exposed the personal information, names, addresses, credit card details of over 30 million users. What's truly chilling about this wasn't some sophisticated zero-day exploit. It was a fundamental oversight in basic security. A security researcher found the exposed data by simply using common search tools to scan for unsecured databases on popular cloud platforms.
Searching for it.
Essentially, yes. This data was literally accessible to anyone with an internet connection. This case starkly showcased the severe risks of inadequate data protection and the frightening ease with which highly sensitive personal data can be harvested using basic OSINT techniques. It turns simple data visibility into a catastrophic privacy failure. It underlines that if it's discoverable, it's vulnerable.
So sometimes it's not even about hacking in the traditional sense or breaking in. It's just about finding what's already left exposed, like leaving your front door wide open for anyone to wander in.
Exactly. Then there's the SceneCom breach, also in 2015. Hackers, identifying themselves as Cyber Caliphate, meticulously used OSINT to identify the U.S. Central Command's official public Twitter and YouTube accounts. Standard stuff. But they didn't stop there. They went a step further, leveraging OSINT to track down the personal social media accounts of some SceneCom employees.
Oh, okay. Crossing the professional-personal line.
Right. They then used this collected information, the names, roles, personal connections, to launch a highly targeted phishing campaign specifically designed to steal login credentials for the official accounts. Once they had those, they took control, defacing the accounts and posting propaganda, caused significant embarrassment and a substantial reputational blow.
Yeah, I remember that.
This incident clearly demonstrates how OSINT facilitates attacks by providing the crucial human element for social engineering. And it underscores the critical importance of operational security OPSEs. Being incredibly careful about what information, even seemingly trivial details about your personal life, is shared online when it can be linked back to your professional identity.
These examples really drive home the point. The more information, even seemingly trivial or disconnected, is publicly available about you or your organization, the easier it is for malicious actors to piece together a comprehensive profile for attack. It's almost like leaving individual puzzle pieces scattered that someone else can easily assemble into a complete and dangerous picture. We've talked about financially motivated groups and individual vulnerabilities, but what about nation-state-sponsored attacks? The SolarWinds incident was massive. It truly felt like it shifted the entire landscape of cybersecurity.
Indeed. The SolarWinds supply chain attack in December 2020 was, well, a highly sophisticated operation, widely attributed to an Advanced Persistent Threat Group, an APT, strongly suspected to be state-sponsored. The sheer scale and ingenuity were unprecedented. The attackers delivered malicious code, known as the UNBRST backdoor, through a legitimate software update for SolarWinds Orion IT monitoring and management software.
Through the actual update.
Yes, this insidious backdoor affected an astonishing array of victims: multiple U.S. government agencies, numerous private sector companies, critical infrastructure organizations globally. It made it one of the most impactful and far-reaching breaches in recent history. It was a Trojan horse delivered through a trusted channel.
That's truly terrifying. A trusted software update, a routine part of IT maintenance, becoming the delivery mechanism for state-level malware. How did they manage to stay hidden for so long and with such a wide reach without being detected?
The threat actors employed incredibly sophisticated obfuscation and evasion methods. They remained undetected for an extended period, sometimes for months. They meticulously imitated SolarWinds' legitimate coding style and naming standards to blend in seamlessly with the existing software, made it incredibly difficult to spot anomalies.
Barely in.
Exactly. They used virtual private servers, VPSs, with IP addresses native to the victim's country, making their malicious activity appear localized and less suspicious to network monitoring tools. Furthermore, they leveraged compromised security tokens for lateral movement within networks, gaining access to different systems without triggering alarms. They even went so far as to compromise SAMI-LUS signing certificates to create valid tokens for data exfiltration, effectively impersonating legitimate users and processes at a deep level.
Wow, that's deep.
And Infoblox also notes they used multiple initial access vectors beyond just the SolarWinds Orion platform, showing their multi-pronged approach.
So OSINT played a role in understanding this attack too, but more in the analysis and post-breach investigation phase rather than the initial attack itself. Is that right?
Precisely. OSINT was crucial for reverse engineering and understanding the attack's mechanics after it was discovered. Infoblox's update mentions they gathered additional information from OSINT, particularly concerning how the Sunburst malware communicated. They were able to verify how the malware used a clever and complex technique called a domain generation algorithm, or DGA.
DGA, what's that?
It's essentially a sophisticated method for malware to automatically generate a large number of seemingly random domain names, like avsvmcloud.com was one they used to beacon out to its command and control servers, the C2 servers.
Making it hard to block.
Incredibly hard for defenders to block all potential C2 channels because the malware can simply generate new ones on the fly. OSINT was absolutely crucial in decoding the elements of these fully qualified domain names, the FQDNs. These FQDNs were composed of a globally unique identifier, a GI, essentially a hash of the victim's hostname and MSA address plus a byte indicating the payload part, and a custom-based 32 encoded hostname, all designed to identify the victim and exfiltrate specific data.
That sounds incredibly complex.
It is. This is a powerful example of how publicly observed network behavior and information, even after an attack, can be meticulously reverse engineered and analyzed through OSINT to understand sophisticated threats and hopefully build more robust defenses for the future.
It's astounding that even nation-state level attacks, designed for stealth and persistence, still leave digital breadcrumbs that OSINT can help uncover, proving its immense value not just in proactive threat intelligence, but in the critical aftermath of a breach. So with all these increasingly sophisticated threats, it becomes incredibly important for us to understand our own vulnerabilities. Let's talk about our digital footprint. What exactly is it? And are there different kinds we should be aware of, perhaps even ones we don't realize we're leaving?
Right. Your digital footprint is, at its core, the entire, often sprawling trail of data you generate while interacting with the internet. It's a comprehensive, ongoing record of your online activities. Whether you create it intentionally or unintentionally, actively or passively, it's an evolving digital shadow you cast with every single interaction.
Okay.
We generally categorize it into two main types. First, your active digital footprint. This is the data you intentionally share, the information you consciously choose to put out there.
Like social media posts.
Exactly. Social media posts, comments you leave on forums or blog posts, online reviews you write, information submitted in forms when you sign up for services like Netflix, Spotify, online banking. It also includes files uploaded to cloud services like Dropbox or Google Drive. You have a direct degree of control over this as it originates from your explicit actions.
Makes sense.
Second, and often more insidious, is your passive digital footprint. This is data generated without your direct action or often even your conscious awareness. It's a silent byproduct of your online activities.
What kind of data is that?
This includes your browsing history, your IP address, which every website you visit logs automatically, your search queries, app usage data, precise location data from your devices, even what you abandon in shopping carts on e-commerce sites.
Shopping carts too.
Yep. It also encompasses detailed information about your device, its model, operating system, browser type, screen resolution, even its MAXI address. This data is collected subtly, often through cookies, invisible tracking scripts, and pixels embedded across websites and apps, silently building a profile of you in the background.
It sounds like the internet knows a lot more about us than we realize. It's not just what we consciously post, but literally everything we do online, even in the background, which is a bit unsettling.
It truly is, and the depth of that knowledge can be surprising. As the PhonePaw source details, your digital footprint, especially when aggregated, can provide interested parties with a staggering amount of personal information. This goes far beyond just your preferences for targeted ads. It can inadvertently reveal your physical location patterns, aspects of your social status, your interests and preferences, the composition of your social circle, elements of your daily routine, and even what might be considered bad habits.
Wow.
When all these pieces are put together, it can form a very detailed, almost intimate profile of your life, often without your explicit consent.
And this information isn't just for advertisers who want to sell us things, right? Because many people might think, okay, targeted ads, I can live with that. What are the broader, more serious implications?
Far from it. While advertising is certainly a use case, this information is a highly valuable find for a much wider and often more malicious array of actors. We're talking about scammers, stalkers, recruitment agencies looking into your background, large employers conducting vetting, special services, even law enforcement agencies.
Right.
There are countless documented cases where seemingly innocent photos or thoughtless comments posted online years ago have resurfaced, costing individuals jobs, career advancements, or even educational opportunities. Your online persona can have very real, tangible, and often unforeseen consequences in your offline life.
Right. And how exactly do companies or even bad actors collect all this data? You mentioned cookies and tracking scripts.
Yeah, protecting yourself. Privacy, OSINT, and the dark web clarifies the main, often covert methods. Cookies are probably the most well-known. Tiny files websites store on your device to remember preferences, like login details or items in a shopping cart. That's the useful part. However, the critical distinction lies with third-party cookies. These are generated by other developers, often advertisers or analytics firms, and are primarily used to track your activities across different websites, building a comprehensive behavioral profile.
So they follow you around the web.
Essentially, yes. The phone pop log reminds us that every time you click accept cookies, you're often tacitly allowing algorithms to record your digital actions for extensive marketing and data analysis, which can then be sold or shared. Then there's fingerprinting. This is a more covert and persistent method. Trackers analyze various unique attributes of your device, things like your screen resolution, operating system, the specific fonts installed, browser type,
All
plugins.
that technical stuff.
Yeah, to create a unique fingerprint of your device. This allows them to track you across the internet, even if you block or delete cookies, because your device's unique configuration remains identifiable.
That's sneaky.
It is. And beyond these, companies also use web beacons. These are tiny, often invisible images embedded in emails and websites. When these images load, they notify the sender or tracker that a page or email has been accessed, providing data on your engagement. And e-tags, a less commonly known but effective part of the HTTP protocol, also silently monitor user activity, providing persistent tracking mechanisms. So yeah, every click, every page view, every accept cookies interaction contributes to a detailed, persistent, and evolving profile of you, often without your explicit knowledge or control.
So what are the real-world consequences then of this extensive and often invisible digital footprint? Why should we really care beyond just seeing annoying ads or worrying about a simple data breach? What's the actual impact on our lives?
Right. This raises that important question everyone needs to internalize. What's the actual tangible impact on your life? Firstly, there's permanence and reputation. The Super Anti-Spyware blog emphasizes a chilling truth. Your digital footprint is, for all intents and purposes, permanent.
Permanent, really?
Pretty much. Content you posted years or even decades ago that you thought was long deleted or forgotten can resurface. It can be analyzed, potentially misinterpreted, or taken out of context to create a profile of you that might not be entirely accurate, ultimately affecting your reputation in profound ways. Once it's online, it's incredibly difficult to fully erase.
Wow. Right.
Secondly, there are significant implications for employment and vetting. Statistics consistently show that more than 3/4 of employers actively Google prospective hires during recruitment drives.
3/4, that high.
Yeah. Colleges, security companies, police, government representatives routinely and meticulously examine digital footprints as part of their vetting processes. There are even specialized OSINT tools readily available. Now, Maigret, for example, helps companies find accounts associated with a particular username. MoSINT gathers extensive information linked to an email address. Nextfill finds profiles connected to specific usernames across various platforms. These tools make it incredibly easy for others to build a comprehensive, often unfiltered picture of you, which can influence critical life decisions like job offers or college admissions.
Okay, that's serious.
And most critically, it directly impacts your personal safety and vulnerability to attacks. Beyond just targeted ads, this wealth of collected data can be maliciously used for highly effective spear phishing attacks, like we discussed with Scattered Spider, or for doxing, the act of releasing sensitive, personally identifiable information about you without your consent, often leading to harassment or worse. As Forbes warns, AI-powered OSINT tools make collating this data incredibly easy and fast, significantly enhancing attacker productivity and enabling attacks highly tailored to a specific victim or a group of victims.
So the AI just makes it easier for the bad guys.
It scales their ability dramatically. This means the stakes are higher than ever before. Your digital footprint isn't just about privacy in an abstract sense, it's profoundly about your security and personal safety in the real world.
So this paints a rather sobering picture, doesn't it? What can you do about it? How do we start shrinking this expansive digital shadow that seems to follow us everywhere? It feels like a daunting task, but there must be practical, manageable steps we can take.
It can definitely feel overwhelming, but actionable steps are absolutely available. You're not powerless here. Protecting yourself, privacy, OSINT, and the dark web introduces a powerful concept: the data detox.
Data detox. I like the sound of that.
Yeah, it's a systematic process designed to significantly reduce your online footprint and take back control of your data. A crucial starting point is to tidy up your social media. You need to proactively review all your old posts, photos, tags, groups, for any confidential or potentially compromising information you might have inadvertently shared.
Things you forgot you've posted.
Exactly. This can include seemingly harmless details, like car VIN codes visible in a photo, as the Phone Paul blog points out, or maybe location tags you didn't realize were on. Many of us quickly forget what we posted years ago or what groups we were tagged in. These are all bits of data that can be used to build a profile. And crucially, deactivate any old accounts you no longer use, like that ancient MySpace or forgotten forum profile. Every inactive account is a potential point of compromise or data leakage. storage.
Get rid of the digital clutter.
Precisely. Then, moving forward, you must consciously limit your sharing. Forbes strongly advises, do not post photos of documents or sensitive work-related information, such as department names or your boss's name on social media. Common sense, maybe, but easily forgotten. Before you post anything online, a photo, a comment, a status update, ask yourself a critical question. What information, however small, could a bad actor glean from this? From its tags, from the context you're providing? Adopt a mindset of minimal disclosure.
Think before you post. Sounds simple, but hard to do consistently.
It takes practice. It's also highly recommended to Google yourself regularly. Search for your full name in quotation marks and also variations of it to see what's publicly accessible about you. Use reverse image search for your profile pictures, as these can sometimes link to old, forgotten accounts or show where else your picture is being used.
Oh, good tip.
To stay proactive, set up Google alerts for your name, so you're immediately notified of any new mentions of yourself online. If you find personal data or photos you want removed, reach out to the specific websites, or sometimes use specialized online services that can assist with content removal.
Okay.
And finally, an often overlooked step, remove metadata from your media. The TikTok source reminds us that photos and videos contain hidden metadata. This can include timestamps, camera settings, and even precise geographic locations, geotags where the media was captured.
Right, the location data.
Exactly. Learn how to remove this information before posting. Most smartphones allow you to explicitly manage or remove location data from photos and videos before sharing them on platforms like TikTok or Instagram. This tiny step can prevent attackers from pinpointing your exact location or routine.
It's about being much more intentional and thoughtful with everything we broadcast and share. It's not just what we say, but also what the background of our photos reveals, or what unseen data is embedded within them. Okay, so beyond limiting what we share, what about the accounts themselves? What are the fundamental safeguards we should all be implementing to protect our digital identities?
The basics.
Right, the fundamentals. Fundamental account security is absolutely paramount. It serves as the bedrock of your digital defense, as meticulously detailed in the Facebook security and phone pause sources. Firstly, the non-negotiable step. Use strong, unique passwords and password managers. You absolutely must use complex passphrases, combinations of letters, numbers, symbols for every single one of your accounts.
Every single one. No reusing.
No reusing. Avoid easily guessed information like birthdays, pet names, common phrases. Reputable password managers, like Bitwarden mentioned in the Facebook source, are indispensable tools. They generate unique, strong passwords, securely store them, and conveniently manage them across all your online services without you having to remember hundreds of complex strings. Okay, password manager check. What else?
Secondly, two-factor authentication, 2FA. It's no longer optional. It is paramount. Activate 2FA on all accounts that offer it, all of them. And critically, opt for an authenticator app like Authy, which supports more secure push-based confirmation as noted in the Facebook source instead of relying on SMS-based 2FA.
Why not SMS? It seems convenient.
It is convenient, but SMS-based 2FA is notoriously vulnerable to SIM swapping attacks. That's where attackers trick your mobile carrier into porting your phone number to their device. Then they intercept your one-time codes, completely bypassing that layer of protection.
Ah, okay. Authenticator app it is.
Definitely safer. Third, make it a habit to review app permissions regularly. Many third-party applications or websites request permission to connect to your social media or other online accounts. You should make a habit of monthly pruning these permissions. Revoke access for anything you no longer use or anything that seems suspicious, especially if you ever suspect an account breach. Limit what has access to your data.
Digital spring cleaning.
Exactly. And finally, activate login alerts and session management. Turn on features like get alerts about unrecognized logins and login approvals within your account settings. This ensures you receive instant notifications on your smartphone if someone attempts to access your account from an unfamiliar device or location. If you ever suspect a breach, immediately log out of all active sessions from your account's security settings, like the dedicated Where You're Logged In or Security and Login tab on platforms like Facebook. These simple, consistently applied steps significantly reduce the risk of account compromise, even if your password happens to be leaked elsewhere in a data breach.
Those are absolutely critical baseline steps everyone should take immediately, no excuses. But what if you want to take things a step further, beyond just the basics, and really lock down your digital life? What advanced privacy measures and tools are available for building, a stronger digital wall around yourself?
Right.
Yeah.
How can we be truly proactive and build a comprehensive defense in depth? There are several powerful tools and strategies. One powerful tool is virtual private networks, VPNs. As protecting yourself, Privacy, OSINT, and the dark web explains, VPNs serve multiple crucial functions. They mask your actual IP address, your online address, essentially and critically, they encrypt your entire internet connection.
So people can't see what you're doing online.
Makes your online actions virtually untraceable and unreadable to outsiders, yeah, including your internet service provider or malicious actors on the same network. VPNs are especially important when you're connected to public Wi-Fi networks, which are often unsecured and ripe for eavesdropping.
Coffee shop, Wi-Fi, airport Wi-Fi.
Exactly those. When choosing a VPN, always research its reliability, ensure it has a strict no-logs policy, meaning they don't store your activity data, and verify its track record. Not all VPNs are created equal.
Good point. Okay, what else?
Next, consider using privacy-focused browsers like Brave or Firefox Mobile. These browsers are specifically designed with enhanced privacy features built in, things like ad blockers, tracker blockers, and fingerprinting protection. However, it's worth noting that vigilance is always key. The TikTok source mentions recent changes, like Mozilla reportedly removing its promise never to sell user data,
Oh, really?
which just underscores the need to stay informed and regularly audit even these seemingly secure options. No solution is set and forget. You have to keep an eye on things.
True. The landscape changes fast.
It does. Another increasingly crucial service is data broker removal services. Companies like Incogni and Delete Me, highlighted in the TikTok source, automate the ongoing and often tedious process of removing your personal information from data brokers.
Data brokers. Who are they?
These are entities that secretly collect, aggregate, and sell your personal data, often without your explicit knowledge or consent, to marketers, advertisers, and even other data brokers. It's a huge, mostly unregulated industry. Delete Me, in particular, is recommended for those in high-risk professions like activism or journalism, given its more comprehensive approach and even dedicated personal privacy advisors. But they're useful for anyone concerned about this.
Okay, getting your data off those lists makes sense.
You also need to diligently manage platform-specific tracking. It's not just about general tools. You need to go into the settings of the platforms you use. For Meta platforms Facebook, Instagram, the TikTok source provides clear, actionable steps. Go to Settings in Privacy Account Center, your information and permissions, your activity off Meta technologies. Here, you can actively toggle Manage Future Activity off F and clear previous activity to sever past and future connections with third-party sites sharing data with Facebook.
Ah, the off-Facebook activity.
Exactly. You can also explicitly disable Meta AI to stop it from collecting your data for its AI models, if that's a concern. For Google, learn how to find out who is connected and sharing your Google account data and proactively disconnect them. Check your Google account settings regularly. iPhone users have a fantastic built-in tool called Safety Check. It's in Settings, Privacy, and Security, Safety Check.
Safety check. What does it do?
It allows you to quickly review who has access to your data, revoke app permissions across the board, and remove unrecognized devices linked to your Apple ID. It's a powerful, centralized privacy control for emergencies or just regular checkups.
That sounds really useful.
And finally, if all else fails and your account is compromised, there's ethical escalation. Don't just panic. Document everything meticulously. Screenshots, detailed notes of what happened when. Immediately contact local law enforcement agencies like the FBI Internet Crime Complaint Center, IC3, in the US, or the UK's Action Fraud, as detailed in the Facebook source. If you're ever threatened or blackmailed with intimate material, immediately use the reporting functions built into platforms like Facebook and reach out to specialized cyber victim support organizations. There are resources available. Taking these advanced steps empowers you to proactively take back significant control of your personal data from advertisers, employers, and especially cybercriminals.
It's not just about what happens online, though, is it?
Yeah.
Our physical actions and our environment can also inadvertently create digital vulnerabilities, extending our digital footprint in unexpected, tangible ways.
Absolutely. The TCM security source reminds us of the crucial and often overlooked connection between the physical and digital realms. How our physical surroundings can impact our digital security.
Like what kind of thing?
Well, one classic low-tech example is shoulder surfing. This is where someone discreetly observes you typing sensitive information, PANs, passwords, credit card numbers over your shoulder.
Right, just looking over your shoulder.
Yeah. You need to be acutely aware of your surroundings, especially when at ATMs, on public transport, or in cafes. Always shield your screen with your body or hand when entering sensitive information. Be cautious of anyone holding a camera or smartphone pointed in your direction. It's an old trick, but still highly effective.
Good reminder.
Then there's geotagging. We mentioned metadata earlier. This refers specifically to the embedding of precise geographical location data within digital content, like photos or social media posts, often done automatically by your smartphone camera. The potential dangers are significant. Sharing geotagged content can inadvertently reveal your current location, making you a potential target for crime. It can expose predictable patterns in your behavior or daily routines like your commute, your favorite coffee shop, or disclose locations you'd prefer to keep private like your home address or workplace.
But turn that off on your camera settings.
It's vital to disable geotagging on your devices and always review photos for any embedded location information before sharing them online. Finally, the safe disposal of old devices. This is an often overlooked but critical step. Don't just trash old phones, laptops, or external hard drives, or even just wipe them once.
Why not? Isn't a factory reset enough?
A simple factory reset only removes the pathway to data. With the right tools and expertise, that data can often still be recovered. It's not securely erased. For truly sensitive devices, consider using electronic wiping software that overwrites your storage multiple times, rendering data unrecoverable. For ultimate security with highly sensitive data, consider physical destruction, like drilling holes through a hard drive platter or shredding it.
Okay, physical destruction. Got it.
Your physical environment and how you manage your physical possessions is a very real part of your extended digital attack surface.
Okay, one last area. The dark web. It often conjures up these images of shadowy figures and illicit activities, almost a mythical, dangerous place. How does that fit into our OSINT discussion? And is it something the average person needs to actively worry about or, heaven forbid, explore?
Right, it's crucial to distinguish between the terms, as there's a lot of misunderstanding and sensationalism surrounding them. Protecting yourself. Privacy, OSINT, and the dark web clarifies this well. The deep web is simply anything not indexed by traditional search engines. Things like paywalled content, private databases, your online banking portal. It's vast, and the vast majority of it is entirely innocuous and part of everyday internet use. Nothing scary there.
Okay, so most of the internet is technically the deep web.
Exactly. The dark web, however, is a small fraction of the deep web. It's intentionally hidden and requires specialized software like the Tor browser to access. Now, as for myths versus reality, the media often sensationalizes the dark web as this hub for exclusively illegal and terrifying activities. And, yes, while it certainly does host illicit activities, black markets for drugs, weapons, stolen data, it's also a vital haven for other groups.
Like who?
Whistleblowers, activists, journalists seeking anonymity and secure communication in oppressive regimes where freedom of speech is suppressed. For some, it's a necessary tool for safety. However, and this is a big however for the uninitiated, the dangers are very real and should not be underestimated. It's rife with scams, dangerous and disturbing content, malware. And it can carry potential legal consequences for accessing certain materials. You can easily stumble upon disturbing content or fall prey to sophisticated scams.
So probably best avoided for most people.
While there's an allure of anonymity and unrestricted content for some, for you, the average listener, it's a place to understand its existence and implications, not necessarily to explore without expertise and a specific, legitimate purpose. The primary relevance for you is that your leaked credentials from a data breach could end up being sold on dark web marketplaces.
Oh, okay. That's the connector.
Exactly. This makes it important to be aware of its existence and its role in the broader threat landscape, even if you never directly access it. You protect yourself against what might end up there rather than venturing in yourself. Hashtag tag tag outro.
So, wow, we've unpacked a truly immense amount today. From the chaos of a DDoS attack disrupting exams in Greece, to the incredibly sophisticated tactics of groups like Scattered Spider leveraging AI for hyper-tailored attacks, and of course the ever-present, often invisible digital footprint we all leave behind. It's abundantly clear that in this intricately interconnected world, what's publicly available can absolutely become deeply personal, and sometimes dangerously so.
Yeah, if we connect this to the bigger picture, the sheer volume of information available through OSINT combined with the accelerating and, let's face it, pervasive power of AI. It means that understanding your digital self, how your data is used, and how to proactively protect it is no longer optional. It really isn't. It's a fundamental, critical life skill that's becoming increasingly essential for everyone, regardless of their technical background. It basically defines your security in the digital age.
We truly encourage you to take the first step in your own data detox today. Maybe start right after this. Begin by reviewing your privacy settings across all your online accounts and arm yourself with the practical strategies and tools we've discussed. This isn't a one-time fix, is it? It's an ongoing commitment to online hygiene, much like brushing your teeth daily. Consistent effort yields lasting protection.
Absolutely. And this raises an important, perhaps slightly unsettling final question for you to consider as you go about your day. Beyond the obvious social media posts or online purchases you consciously make, what unexamined digital trail might you be leaving right now? Perhaps through an old, forgotten app you haven't used in years, a dormant account from a decade ago, or even a seemingly harmless picture you took way back when that unknowingly contains sensitive metadata. It's a vast landscape out there, and understanding your place in it, your shadow, is really key.
That's definitely a deep thought to ponder as you navigate your digital world. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating, complex, and sometimes chilling world of OSINT and digital privacy. We hope you feel more informed, more empowered, and ready to navigate your digital life with greater awareness and confidence.